All right, we're live, Matt. Pay attention.
Welcome to the SCIF. This is our first night on Tuesday. I hope you guys didn't forget. We almost forgot. I had I had to send a message to Stu because he was still thinking we were on Wednesday. Is that correct, Stu?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. I just made that up. But anyways, welcome. We have a pretty good show tonight. I think it's good. You think it's good, Stu?
I think it has the potential to be good.
We've
But we
got a
also have the
song for
potential
you
to
guys too
have the
that you are
potential to
really
correct
going to
it.
enjoy. So please take out your recorders at some stage. We'll give you forward notice and advance notice that it'd be time for you to take out your recorders. And this is a beautiful song, guys. I don't know what else to say about it. But
Brings
we
a
are the
tear to my
Green Beret.
eye.
Oh, it brings a tear to your eye for sure. We are the Green Beret Life. This is the SCIF. And what do we got on the docket for you tonight, Stu?
We've got the ICE deportation agendas in full swing. We've got some
What about the
back and
children?
forth.
What about the children?
Well, yeah, they're more than welcome to go with their parents.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. We had a little smackdown with Colombia where they were going to refuse the repatriation of their citizens, and that was kiboshed pretty quickly.
Is it true they were training them up at Benning to do a static line jump?
I hope so.
No.
That'd be pretty nice. Or just put them in a pallet and send them out.
I
with
was
cargo
thinking the
chute.
same thing. Do a pallet with a big like Operation Dumbo drop. You know.
Hey, whatever works. We're saving the taxpayers' money here, right?
That's exactly. You just roll it right out the back of the C1 or C-17.
Because I'm sure we have some chutes that are nearing the end of their serviceable life. So, I mean, we can go ahead and get those off the books.
Yeah. So
we're looking at that with some of these deportation things we've got going in. We've got a list of people that have been caught, because that's, like Matt said, he was being a little facetious, but that's what, the bleeding hearts are going to be crying about. What about the children? What about the children? They're not going. Their priority is the violent criminal. That's what they're going for right now.
Stu, I've made this this comment on here before. If you can convince somebody that is for the benefit of the children, people will give up any liberty. What book did that come from? Mein Kampf. Yes. Yeah. So
no, for the children.
Everything is for the children. The children. Yeah. These people don't give a shit about children. It's very clear. They don't give a shit about anybody except pushing their narrative. They'll manipulate these things to try to manipulate you. But yeah.
When you look at when there is a tragedy such as that takes place in a school or anything like that, the very first thing they do is use it for their own ends. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the families. They don't care about anyone. They want to use it for their agenda, and that tells you everything.
You could stop school shootings overnight. You put armed people in the schools that are ready to go. That's what you do, but they won't do it. A few years ago, they were looking for veterans and retired police officers and shit like that to volunteer, and they had a whole list of them that would. But no way, teachers' union would not allow it.
They would not let that quickly.
Yeah, because then they can't make it into an issue. Problem solved, right? Problem solved. They can't make it into an issue. So,
but we've also got JD Vance is my new hero, I think, in dealing with these reporters. He absolutely, the way he handles them is amazing. He doesn't get flustered. He doesn't get loud. He doesn't allow them to overtalk him when he's answering their questions, and he just lets them have it with both barrels with a smile on his face, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. He got into it with who was it? Margret Brennan or something like that. I forget. Margret Brennan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Margret Brennan from is she from CNN or MSNBC?
She is from CBS.
Oh, CBS. Okay. Yeah.
But you know, she's
One notch
trying
below.
to, they're trying to do the gotcha questions and trying to twist things and all. It's just, it's funny the way it comes out.
And then you had Tom Homan with Martha Raddatz. Did you see that one too?
I didn't, but I mean,
She's
JD
like,
Vance tied her in a knot. So
yeah. She's like, are you going to keep these flights up every day? He's like, yeah. Every day? Yeah.
yep,
And she's like,
I did see that.
and yeah. And then he says, they're like, and he's like, it's criminals right now, but once we're done with the criminals, we're going to open the aperture. What do you mean by open the aperture? Well, let me just say, if you're here illegally, you should probably self-deport right now.
And you know, it's amazing when you look at it, how one of our stories here is the president of Colombia, but he was just all beside himself, and a lot of it's posturing, but you know how we were just not treating them with dignity and respect by sending them back home on a military aircraft. And it's like, how much dignity and respect were they treated with in their home country for them to travel from South America all the way up through Mexico into the U.S.? How much
when you think about it, if these people are such fantastic people, why do their own countries not want them back? What? Because they're criminals. A lot of them are criminals. So, yeah.
But that's what we have, what we're going to be looking at. I don't know. What do you want to? Oh, do you want to talk about the Trump buyout of federal workers? You want to talk about that on
let's
YouTube?
let's do that on YouTube here. Let's start with that one, Stu. I think that's a good idea.
All right, let me see. Oh, that's not the right screen.
We all know that we have a bloated federal government, absolutely bloated. So, and this is genius, and basically what Trump is going to do is he's going to go to a bunch of federal workers and offer them a severance package with benefits, right? And they expect that roughly 5 to 10% of the workforce, which is huge, they're looking at a savings just from 5 to 10% of those workers. And you know that right now they're trying to get federal workers just to show up at an office again because they're sitting at home. And many suspect that they're not necessarily working 40-hour work weeks. Now, many suspect that. I'm sure maybe some of them are. And that's not fair to say that with all of them, but they're a little dubious. And with this bloated federal government that just hire, they have basically said between 5 and 10% will be $100 million of savings. I mean, that's huge right there, 5 to 10. And boy, we need 50%. 5 to 10%.
No, how much money?
$100 million.
No. With a B.
Oh, $100 billion?
$100 billion.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
See, and I was off by 10% or shit.
No,
what is that? I don't do maths. I was off by 100%. No. I'm not a mathlete. Many of you guys don't know this, but Stu, you know, he wasn't a jock. He was a mathlete when he was in high school.
I wasn't either. I was just dumb. I didn't have the excuse of being good at sports. I just sucked all the way around.
You weren't a mathlete?
I was not a mathlete.
Oh,
Math
come on.
my jam.
That's not what I was told. I heard you were a mathlete.
You were lied to.
You're a world-class mathlete.
that is so untrue. But yeah, that's exactly right. They're anticipating about 5 to 10% of federal workers will take this up, and it'll save up to, you know, looking at like $100 billion. And
with a B.
With a B.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess that I'm just wondering if you've got people that are close to retirement, are they still offering them their retirement just to get them out? I mean, I'm just curious as to the
I think
details of
so.
it.
I think they'd probably allow early retirement. Just even doing stuff like that still is a huge savings.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, our federal government is probably over bloated by about 75%. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. You
Well,
know?
it's huge, and the thing is, there's so many areas where it's just duplicate effort. Where you have the same offices or agencies that are offering, just a different flavor of the same thing, because there's no government program that ever goes away. It's just, oh, well, that program didn't work. We need to spend more money on it. They never go and look
Mhm.
and say, oh, that program didn't work because it was poorly thought out or poorly structured. Let's scrap it and start over. No, we'll just throw more money at it. Then we'll start another one over here. And it continues to bloat and just turn into the behemoth that it is now.
Well, I saw that he stopped that 85,000 or term. He's getting rid of this 85,000 IRS agents. He's already signed an executive order to get rid of that. All
Oh,
right.
good.
Yeah. Those were designed to kill small business. I mean, we talked about this.
Yeah.
The three legs that our economy is basically based off of: small business, agriculture, energy. And the previous administration has been attacking all three of those legs. And today, did you see that Pocahontas and a few other of the politicians, I don't remember which ones, they were backbenchers, but they all put a letter. They're now trying to blame Trump on the rise of the price of eggs for the week and a half he's been in office.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, this is too stupid to be stupid.
But these are the exact same people that when we were talking about it when Biden had been president for 4 years. Well, the president has nothing to do with the price of eggs. What do you expect him to do about the
It
price
went
of
up
eggs?
65%.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they're floundering right now. They don't know what to do. The media, that's why when Tom Homan goes on and straight face, you're going to do this every day, like she's shaming
Yep.
him. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to get bigger. Right.
Yeah.
This is what the
Just you
American
wait.
people wanted. Yeah. Yeah. Just get, this is how you handle these people. You get on there and you clown them and say, you know what? Nobody watches your crap. Nobody trusts anything you say. You lie and basically clown them the whole time and then get up and leave.
Well, that's
And then
because
go ahead.
like Holman isn't a politician. He's not there trying to get them to like him,
Yeah.
like our
Give a
representatives
rat's
and
ass.
senators are. They want to be liked. They have that
Mhm.
need to be liked. He doesn't care. He's there to do a job, and his job is immigration enforcement.
Yeah.
And so that's what he's going to do.
Exactly. I mean, today, Caroline Levitt basically said, they're encouraging, we're tiny, but we could put in a request, right? They're encouraging people that run podcasts to put in for press credentials for the White House press briefings.
Yeah, I saw that where they're doing it to
Dude,
get more.
we're gonna put in a request.
And I think they were saying there were like 400 parties that had their credentials revoked under Biden, and they're looking at reissuing those.
Yeah. Probably
Getting
real
White House
journalists,
press time.
right? It's this whole thing. There's too much winning, right? Pretty
Too
soon we're
much.
going to say, "Hey, President Trump, just back off. There's too much winning," and he's going to say, "Nope, more,
Can't
more."
handle it.
We can't, sir. There's just too much winning. So
We got to do something, sir.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we need to put in for one of those press credentials.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we got to do that. Problem is, you'd have to be. How often do you have to show up? I wonder. Could you show up like once a month?
I don't know.
We could get you guys the cold, hard truth right from the White House.
All right, Matt, you want to move over to Rumble?
Well, I don't think we have given YouTube their due yet, Stu. YouTube sucks. YouTube is part of Google. It is horrible. It's garbage. We watch it, right, because too many creators have not made that migration over to Rumble, right? Now, they're going after the advertisers in Rumble, and it's getting frustrating sometimes listening to Rumble because you got to listen to these bullshit ads. But look, I'm seriously considering, it's like $90 a year. I wish it wasn't that much, but I'm seriously considering getting an ad-free package just to support Rumble, right?
Right.
YouTube is just, this platform sucks. I can't think of any other description for it. It's not an American, especially in the American vein of ideals and everything else. They don't believe in free speech. They take money from the government, and they still act like they're a private corporation that can basically censor anything you say. And we saw this during COVID. Right now, during this administration, this might be a little harder for them to do, but they're still going to do it. And if you're listening to the World Economic Forum and you're listening to that asshole Klaus Schwab, right? Well, here's what they're really ramming home: misinformation. When they say misinformation, that means anything that goes against their narrative, and they want to shut you down.
Yeah.
This is why
when you start, tossing around terms like that, it's who's defining the misinformation.
Exactly.
Who's defining misinformation, malinformation? Who's defining that? Who's the arbiter of what is or isn't true? Because, like you said, just look back at COVID. Probably 80% of what was being said about COVID, doctors were being discredited, were being fired. They were going after doctors and having them fired.
On this channel, we were getting strikes constantly. If you mentioned ivermectin, that might get us a strike tonight, right? Yeah. If you mentioned, look at that. You see the screens flicker? You mentioned ivermectin, you mentioned hydrochloroquine. If you mentioned that virus came out of a lab in Wuhan, China, you were struck.
Yep.
Right? This is what they were doing. And guess, lo and behold, what has happened? We find out that ivermectin actually was what you should have been taking, or hydrochloroquine was what you should have been taking, and that the vaccines they weren't curing anything or preventing you from getting anything, right? And there were other side effects to those vaccines. And if you dare mention that this came from a lab in China, you were labeled a racist.
Yeah,
this is what this pile of garbage and shit platform was doing to people. Google is shit. So, I hopefully they'll put us on their advertising thing here. Google is garbage. It's absolute garbage. They were using the Southern Poverty Law Center, among others, radical left-wing hate organizations, I'll say they allegedly, right? To basically monitor your speech and our speech. Yeah. This is why this is crap. We got to move to Rumble and put up with some of the bullshit while they get through their teething problems and are trying to fight back against the deep state that is trying to go after advertisers. That's how they do it. That's how they went after X. And we got to stand up. We got to stand up and take a stand. So, okay, shitty advertisers. Who's the advertisers? We need to start putting those lists out. Who are the advertisers that are being swayed by the deep state to not advertise on Rumble or to not advertise on X? Because those advertisers, we probably shouldn't be patronizing them as Americans. You saw Trump go after Bank of America. They were. He made a speech out at Davos for the World Economic Forum, and they had a group of people to talk to Trump over the telephone or the screen, whatever the FaceTime screen, wherever the fuck they had up. So they've got these business leaders. So they had the president of Santander there, I believe. They had the president of Bank of America, and they had some other companies up there. Those were the two I remember. But Bank of America was debanking anybody that was conservative. So why should you? They were giving illegals credit cards, but they were debanking you if you were a conservative. And they were allegedly, if you try to buy a legally purchased firearm or ammo or firearm parts, they were taking your information and giving it to the federal government. And they were trying to put in place, allegedly, this is all allegedly, ways to make it so that you weren't going to be able to purchase firearms and stuff like that legally, right? Using them. But on top of that, Mike Lindell was debanked. These banks need to pay a price for this. What they did is not constitutional. It shouldn't be legal. I don't think it is legal, but they were getting away with it. And Bank of America, Trump went after and said, "Hey, you guys don't like to service conservatives. You got to stop debanking conservatives." They're like, "We don't do that." They absolutely did, allegedly. So Trump, his family, his grandkids, they were all debanked. Mike Lindell, debanked. So these organizations that fell for this, don't forgive them. Don't forgive them. Do your best. You're not going to put Bank of America out of business because they're a protected entity, but do your best to try to put them out of business because they're a shit organization, just like Google right here. So with that being said, Stu, if you want to add anything to that I haven't already put in there, let's do that and then pop smoke.
Yeah, no, just it looks like we've got a few viewers on YouTube now. Come over to Rumble. The link should be below in the event that it isn't, and I have failed in my duty. It is the Green Beret Life over on Rumble. And come hit us up over there. We'll be continuing the show, and we hope to see you there.
Stu, you were derelict in your responsibilities.
That's probably true. That happens more often than